Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. It has been that month, I guess. But you're here in for a treat because, spoiler alert, if you didn't know, today when this episode goes live, it is Black Friday. So also, if you didn't know, because I've been talking about it quite a bit on the podcast, we are running a travel industry Black Friday event. And you just have a couple more days to take advantage of it because it does end on Cyber Monday, December 1st. So last week you heard from one of our presenting partners, Assistants at Work and Mary Beth Lynn. This week you're going to hear from another one, Iris at wmnsWORK, and she also has by Iris. And then next week you'll hear from our final presenting partner, Marcy Munsterman of the No BS Travel Advisor. So we have a really great lineup here supporting you and your travel business. So without further ado, we're going to get Iris started talking with us. But remember, if you aren't signed up for the Black Friday updates, there's going to be a link in the show description so that you can get all the details and also check out all the fun links of the offers that are here to help build your business as we start thinking about 2026. So welcome, Iris, to the podcast.
Thank you, Rita. It's lovely to be here.
Yes, I mean, it's so festive too. As we're celebrating Black Friday, I know a lot of people are probably in food comas because yesterday technically was the American Thanksgiving. And then we have Small Business Saturday, so it's all sorts of festivities here.
It's so exciting. I love that you do all this for the tourism industry and advisors and I'm just so excited to be
Yeah,
here.
I cannot wait to dive in because for anybody that might not know, I've been one of the guest instructors for the Women's Work Accelerator for the past two cohorts. But before we get into that, what's the 411 on Iris? What do people need to know about you? How did you get into the tourism industry? And then also let us know about Buy Iris too, because I feel like that's going to be a really great supplier partner for some travel advisors.
Yeah. I've been in the industry for 13 years. It's crazy how that number keeps creeping up.
Right.
In the pandemic, I was like, oh, it's only been not even a decade, and now
Yeah.
it's been 13 years. Um, I actually very intentionally pivoted from a career in corporate risk management to come
Oh,
into the
wow.
travel industry.
Nice.
Yeah, just as exciting as it sounds, let me tell you, which is why I left. But I mean, insurance is a big part of travel too, so that's been an
Right.
interesting background to have, but I digress. I started in the industry 13 years ago and I kind of worked in many different roles. I worked at the Four Seasons in Prague. I worked at a luxury virtuoso travel agency in Toronto. And then I sort of figured out that my interests and passions really lay with working with small businesses. I have a business degree in from Laurier University in Canada. And I always wanted to put that to use to support small businesses through strategic planning, through marketing, through all the things that need to happen in order to run a business. And
Mhm.
I wanted to do it in an industry that I was passionate about.
Yeah.
Because what I often find is people get into tourism and run tour operators or travel agencies or whatever the case may be because they love to travel, not because they love to run a business.
Exactly.
And so we're a bunch of passionate folks that love to do the subject matter of travel, but not necessarily all the stuff that goes into running a travel business. So
Right.
that's my niche. That's where I'm here to help. I've worked in partnerships and consulting and representation for the last, yeah, 13 years. Well, let's say 10 years. And I recently launched two businesses 4 years ago in the industry. One of them is Women's Work Tourism Accelerator, which we're going to talk about. And one of them is by Iris Representation, which for folks who are new to the industry, you don't necessarily know what a rep company is, so I'll explain it. We
Mhm.
introduce travel advisors like all of you that are listening to amazing partners in the destinations in which you want to send clients to. So those partners all over the world are my clients as part of
Mhm.
this agency. They work with us on a monthly retainer to promote them in the North American market to travel advisors. So I have a portfolio of 6 women-owned and or locally owned DMCs and tour operators all
Nice.
over the world, Italy, Southeast Asia, Tanzania, Uganda, that would be great fits for travel advisors in the industry that want something a little different and off the beaten path for their clients.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my story. I mean, there's more to it, but it really depends how much time you have, so I'll just leave it there.
I know, or I thought you did, because I know you represent companies and local destinations, but do you also have a technology partner that you represent as well?
Yeah, we do. So, Coob is one of our technology partners that we highly recommend for travel advisors and tour operators. It's a way for them to tap into product that DMCs load onto the platform and easily create their itineraries in a much more seamless way than having to go back and forth with DMCs. So it's very much it's very much a solution for the advisor solution is in beta mode right now. The
Okay.
operator solution with like scheduled departure trips is live. But if anyone that's listening is interested at all in learning more about Kube and being part of the focus group and beta group for rolling it out, would love to chat about that.
Ooh, yes. Well, I'll make sure to include your email address and your contact info in the show description because I'm also thinking I run the Travel Tech Audio Summit every year, so maybe we might have to have Kuban, you and Kuban
Yes.
next year too. So stay tuned, travel advisors, on that one. So I know we've talked a bit about by Iris and kind of what you do on the representation side. Now I want to get into women's work because I feel there's not really another program that's out there like it. So, can you give us the 411 on women's work and how it can help travel advisors like really accelerate their business? And then what you would compare or like what the differences you see in women's work versus other programs that might be out there?
Yeah, for sure. So I started women's work in 2022 um, as a solution to travel advisors, tour operators, and DMCs to kind of grow their businesses, understand how to run a business, and understand the industry because the industry is a whole beast in itself.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
this. And there's a piece, there's like the part where you want to understand the entrepreneurship side of things, and there's a part where you want to understand the industry side of things. And I noticed that there wasn't really a program or any educational resources that brought those two things together to enable people to run effective businesses in this industry. So I decided to start this program and run it not just as myself, but bringing in experts from the industry, such as yourself and other fabulous women, to teach the different like subject matter groups that you need or
Mhm.
topics that you need in order to run a business effectively. So
Yes.
because we promote this and talk about different topics that are not just travel advisor related, you also get insight into how do DMCs run their businesses. Like as a travel advisor, how do my partners actually run their businesses and what do they need to be thinking about? So if you're in the program, you're going to have access to people that you wouldn't normally have access to in a regular program designed just for travel advisors.
Mhm.
So that's been a very valuable piece that folks have mentioned they've really enjoyed about women's work is like that cross collaboration between industry silos. But the crux of the program is this. It's a 12-week program with weekly workshops where the participants come in and actually do something that moves their business forward every week. So they're not just listening to lectures, we're actually putting pen to paper and implementing changes in your
Yeah.
business as you go. And you know this because we were like, okay, Rita, we really need people to like go from point A to point B on this call.
Yeah.
Like we can't just have like info. And obviously you did such a great job of that. So we don't just want it to be educational, we want it to be impactful and easily implemented, all the things that they're
Right.
learning through the program. So we have weekly workshops and then we have bi-weekly peer support circles, which is essentially group coaching. And I have a program manager, Chris Chow, shout out to her, who is amazing. And she's a coach by trade and she gets small businesses and entrepreneurship. So she leads these calls. We kind of co-lead them, but we talk about everything in those masterminds. It could be personal stuff, it could be business stuff. You know, as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, those two worlds meld together all the time. It's hard to find a delineation between like your personal life and your mindset and then your business.
Hmm.
So we try to focus on the person as well as the business, not just the business itself.
Hmm.
So that's what those biweekly coaching sessions are all about.
Hmm.
Folks come to the table with a problem and they get input from people, 12 other people that can help them and help release mindset blocks or whatever it is that they're struggling with. I created this as a really integral part of the program because I've experienced such benefits from being part of a mindset coaching group.
Yeah.
You can come to the table with one issue and people don't even have the solution, but they're asking you questions that help you come to the realization of what you need to do.
Exactly. Exactly. I feel like that's like the big benefit as opposed to going it alone and doing it by yourself. Being able to be part of a small, like intimate group can kind of get you a little bit farther faster.
Exactly, that's it. People that have shared experience, you know?
Hmm.
And I recently had an experience of my own in a mindset coaching container just last week with a group of fellow entrepreneurs here in Toronto.
Okay.
And we were all just joking about how if you don't want to light your business on fire at least once a month and burn it all down, like you're not an entrepreneur. And just
Uh-huh.
hearing that and like making it okay to sometimes hate your business was such a relief.
Yeah,
It kind of just like opened up this space in me to be like, okay, just because sometimes it's frustrating doesn't mean I shouldn't be doing it. This
right.
is a normal experience of a founder. Whereas when you're operating in isolation, because like the workshops, like you could probably find individual experts to teach you certain things on different topics.
Hmm.
But the real gold is like this peer support where we all come together and we're like, you're not alone. You're not alone. We're all in similar stages of business and like whatever you're struggling with is okay.
Yeah.
And when you're not struggling and you want to amplify your wins, like there's a group here that helps you do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really love that piece. And then we have one-on-one mentorship as well. So we match every participant with a mentor that has a similar business to the business they want to build,
Nice.
or a mentor that can, maybe help just guide them through the roadblocks, even if they don't have a similar business.
Yeah.
Because often what we hear is, well, what I've heard from the industry when I've done a little bit of research is that founders that are like 15 years in business were like, wow, I really wish this program existed when I first started my business because I
Mhm.
would have saved so much money and time not
Yeah.
making dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
If I could have learned from somebody older than me or like more experienced than me or even younger than me, but just like with a business that
Uh-huh.
already knew what they were doing. So I like that idea of like the one-on-one mentorship and that the guidance that they get
Yeah.
through that.
What are you finding are some like common wins that after somebody has gone through women's work are kind of experiencing? Like, what are those like light bulb moments, or if you were to fast forward like from the first days in 2022 to now, just some of the growth that's happened because people have been like with their people in these containers.
Oh, it's so funny to even track them 3 years later. Like I just met up with one of the women in cohort one like 4 years ago, and we were chatting in person about like how much her business has grown and evolved. And like, yeah, I'm still in touch and seeing how people are growing, which is so rewarding and also just exciting to see the industry taking shape in a different way now because all
Yeah.
these women, badass women-owned businesses are out there. But I would say the most common scenarios that we've seen, like specifically, I've seen people quitting their full-time jobs because they have the confidence to take
Nice.
their business to the next level. That's happened at least every cohort. One person will have quit their full-time job and they'll come to the closing call and be like, I just quit my full-time job last week.
I love that.
So, yeah, it's really, I think that that's not the measure of success, but it's like the freedom that you feel when you can quit your full-time job because of the revenue or the confidence that you have in
Hmm.
yourself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it's been amazing. An increase in the number of departures that some tour operators are selling. So one of the women that graduated from cohort three went from like 6 departures a year to 18 departures a year. So she tripled and they all
Wow.
were sold out. They were small trip, like 4 day trips, so not
Mhm.
like 2 week trips. But after that year, she was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. That was an amazing experiment, but I don't need to be on 18 trips with my clients.
Yeah.
But the revenue was growing, her community was growing, so that was really nice to see. What else have we've seen people be like, "Oh, I've gone through this whole program and I realize I don't want to be an entrepreneur. This is such great information. Like,
Mhm.
I actually don't want to start either I don't want to be an entrepreneur or I want to start a different business." So we
Okay.
kind of collapse time. The program collapses time for you to figure that out. So like if you would have figured that out in a year, you can figure it out in 12 weeks and
Mhm.
save yourself the headache of all the invested time and energy into starting a business. So that was those are few and far between, but
Yeah.
it's almost good to know what you don't want as well.
Yeah. Where are you still kind of seeing gaps like for entrepreneurs who are wanting to get like dive into the travel industry, build a business, whether that's an agency or something else? Where are you kind of seeing where the gap is like between that desire and that initial motivation and like really being able to take off in their business?
It's it's like 95% mindset, if I'm being honest.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I would
95%
agree.
mindset and 5% strategy.
Mhm.
Like that's truly the experience I've had as a founder and what I've seen in our programs.
Yeah.
And it's not like we all need to get mindset coaches, but it's like, how can we just build our confidence to
Mhm.
take the risks and the steps needed in order to get from point A to point B, slash, how badly do we want it? So it's not like positive thinking and toxic positivity. That's not at all the type of work we do in the program.
Yeah.
We actually look at like, do you want this more than you're afraid of it? Like, what are the things that you
Oh,
fear? Write it all down. What happens if you don't pursue the opportunity because of your fears? What happens if you do pursue the opportunity despite your fears? Which outcome are you like more interested in or excited about? And
mhm.
then how can you align your actions with that outcome?
Yeah.
So to go back to like even the original question you asked about what sets us apart, that we don't just look at the how of doing a business. We look at the what of doing a business and running a business. It's the how you actually run your business
Mhm.
and how you feel about it and your mindset. Like it's not just about having the right strategy in place because you
Yeah.
could have all the tools in the world, but if you're not excited about it or you're doing it because you think this is the business you should be running instead of the business you want to be running, you're going to just continue to run into roadblocks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 'cause I will never forget. It was May of 2021 when I quit my full-time job to go full-time into entrepreneurship. I honestly didn't really really have any plan. I just knew I was getting very frustrated at work, there were a couple situations and I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm just gonna start betting on myself. And there's a completely different mindset versus like going full time into work and being like, okay, I'll work on my business when I can, versus like, if I don't work my business, the bills are not going to get paid. So I need to work my business. It is a complete like different, like everything relies on you, especially like me. I have a partner now, but I didn't have a partner at the time. And like, if I didn't do things, things weren't going to happen. Like, I wasn't going to be fed. I couldn't pay my bills and all that. So, yeah, it's kind of like a, what is it, swim or sink type of thing. Like, either you're going to do
Yes,
it or you're not going to do it.
exactly. Exactly. And it's actually, people think it's like, I mean, I don't want to generalize because everybody's journey is
Right.
different, but often
Right.
people think, okay, I'm going to be in my full-time job and like build it on the side.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes that definitely works for a
Yeah.
certain type of person.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me. I had to do the same thing. Like first I had to decide that my business was going to be successful and I could
Yeah.
sustain myself.
Yeah.
And then I was able, and like I had already quit my job. And then I became like, then the results matched what my mindset was. But first you have to decide, because if you're kind of like, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, like it's never
Yeah.
going to get to that point without a serious shift.
Yeah.
So I'm so with you on that.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes it's blind faith. I'm not a very religious person, but I'll never forget like when I made the decision, I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn in my resignation tomorrow. I was like, you know what? God, powers that be, universe, everything. I'm just going to give it up to you. I'm going to trust in myself, and I know that you are going to have my back every step of the way. And that's kind of blind faith or whatever you want to call it. I just believed and knew that things were going to work. And I know that doesn't work for everybody, but I was like, I'm going to find a way. I'm one of those people that I might not know what the way is, but I'm going to figure it out with the resources. And this is why I like to tell a lot
Mm.
of entrepreneurs, like, you have technically everything that you need within you to be successful in this business. You just have to leverage those things that you have within you to find the right resources, to find the right person, to ask the right questions.
Oh my gosh, exactly. There is nothing outside of you that you need, or like you don't need to become more this or more that. Like it's not that you're not enough. It's that you just need to become resourceful. Like you
Yeah.
said, like figure out what you realize we have so
Rest.
much inside of us
Yes.
and we have the answers.
Yep.
We just sometimes need someone to help us like pull that out of us and like figure it out.
Yeah. And so much life experience because no matter what industry you've come from, there are transferable skills. Even if, like, maybe you didn't even have like a formal job and like you've been a caretaker, there are a lot of skills within caretaking that you can bring into your travel because being in the travel industry, it's very much. So I have my degree in hospitality management. So I think that that's kind of how everything kind of started for me. But
Yeah.
it's serving other people, helping other people is at the heart of all of what we do within travel and hospitality.
Oh, yes. I love that. That's exactly it. Like you're in service to others
Hmm.
while also doing what you love.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was like a tactical or practical thing that if somebody's like listening to this conversation, they're like, okay, but what can I immediately do to start getting to the next step? What would be kind of like your recommendation if they've been stuck in a rut or they're just starting out and they're not sure what that next thing is that they need to be doing in their business, whether that's like Googling this or chat GPTing that. What do you think that is?
Oh my gosh, I love ChatGPT for literally everything. So do that. Even ask ChatGPT, like, this is where I'm at in my business. Like, what words of wisdom do you have? Because
Yeah.
everybody's so different. Like, it really depends where you're at in the stage of like business and life to
Uh-huh.
answer this question. But one thing that always works for me is just writing down a list of why I'm the perfect person to be doing what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
Like
Ooh.
credibility, relationships, like no matter what stage of business I'm in.
I
It,
love that exercise.
It
So,
just gives you like energy. You're like, oh,
yeah.
shoot, yes, I'm a badass. Okay.
Yes. Sometimes we forget about that. And I recently recorded an episode talking about like all the different hats, specifically on the travel agency side, but I feel like this goes across any like business owner. Like you have to be the CEO, the CFO, the COO, and the CMO. So like if you're unsure about justifying your rates, look at everything that all those jobs entail and don't ever question your value ever again because there's a lot that goes into that.
Absolutely. Like, think about how many jobs we actually do,
Yeah.
and in turn, how much value we provide. Like, if you're
Yeah.
a travel advisor and you're listening to this, you are providing hours saved of your client's
Yes.
time trying to figure out what they should do, where they should go, like what tour operator they should travel with. Like, you already have all of that knowledge. Like, that alone is worth so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel who gets stuck in their heads a lot is our new travel advisors because they might not have as extensive of knowledge. But that's where I go back to, but you know where you should be finding this information, which is still way more valuable than the person who's like, I ain't got time for this. Like, I'm gonna hire you and you just do it for me.
Oh my God, yes, exactly. It's like you just need to know where to look. Again,
Yeah.
you just need to be resourceful, and partnerships are key. Like actually as a new travel advisor, what you need to do is ask your client questions to get to know your client,
Yeah.
and then you can pass that along to a trusted partner and
Yeah.
help like have them put something together for you that because they know the destination. It would be such a duplication of efforts for you to get to understand the destination as deeply as they do, and it wouldn't even be possible. So, like getting to know your client really, really well, and then finding trusted partners in regions you haven't been to
Yeah.
is so key.
Yeah. I you mentioned AI, and so I feel like AI is the hot button topic in all sorts of conversations now, and keeping the humanity of the customer experience human versus all the other maybe not so fun stuff to make sure AI might be helping you do that a little bit faster or quicker. Is that affecting how women's work, like the curriculum might be adjusting or being tweaked, or even thinking about
Mhm.
business owners, how they're operating in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. We really want to future-proof women's work and make sure it continues to be valuable because
Hmm.
we didn't have AI as part of the conversation when I first started women's work. It wasn't like generative AI, at least, and
Uh-huh.
the ubiquitousness of it now wasn't at all the case in 2022. So what we've been doing is keeping up to speed with what tools are useful and
Okay.
how not just tools to help you become more efficient in your business. Like, of course, that's great, to be using ChatGPT and like note takers and all of that, but also to like help you step into the role of the CEO more frequently as you run your business. So how can we use AI to do competitive analysis on our competitors if you're a tour operator, pricing analysis, personalization, like
Yes.
how to use AI to help personalize things to what your clients' needs are,
Yeah.
and then maintain that relationship with them and do the booking and all of that, but use AI to support you in being able to provide better service to your clients. There are all like so many different ways to use it in travel.
Yeah.
And so we're incorporating that into the next cohort's curriculum. We'll have about like 20 to 30% of the content focus on the use of AI and how to leverage it.
Nice. I love that. I love like that you also mentioned that competitive advantage because I feel like that can be a little bit discouraging for newer advisors or advisors who are just kind of stuck in a rut. They're like, well, there's thousands of other travel advisors or people can go with anybody. Like, why should somebody work with me? So what kind of advice would you have in that arena too when yes, there's a lot of people that are in the industry, but I feel like there's still so much business to go around.
Yeah. And in this case, especially in this day and age where like it seems like everybody's traveling now. It's not just a luxury good anymore. It's like very, it's a something everyone does.
Yeah.
I would focus on owning your niche and telling a story that no one else can tell.
Ooh,
That is you and your life story
yes.
because that's how you connect with people.
Yes.
And for me, like I'm a Jewish queer woman who has Romanian heritage, grew up in Toronto. I resonate with, I want to buy from people and work with people who like understand my lived experience. My
Mhm.
lived experience is pretty niche. So is yours. Whoever is like listening to this, like you have a story that's so unique to you
Yeah.
that's going to resonate with people and make them feel safe and comfortable. And those are going to be the people that come to you. That's how you set yourself apart is by being like fully leaning into the parts of you that you may not be like talking about very often. Like I don't
Hmm.
go to people and be like, "Hey, I'm queer."
Right.
But like I actually see that as a big part of my story and the more open I am about it, the more people come to me because they're like, "Oh, you understand LGBTQ plus travel? Like what's it like going to Uganda as a bisexual woman?"
Hmm.
Like questions like that set you apart because people will immediately feel seen with you.
Yeah.
So, I know it's hard sometimes to be seen and to fully show up, but that's my advice. Like, fully show up, tell a story that no one else can tell, and own that niche.
Yeah, I love that. It's almost being fearless. And sometimes the fear does creep in, but being like comfortable in sharing your story. And I know, especially when we're thinking about social media, you just have to start with baby steps. Like maybe you just mention a little part of your story, or you just get on social media at all. Like especially if you're not doing in-person type of networking, you have to be visible somewhere online. And like my favorite way to do that is Instagram stories. So if you've never done Instagram stories, just do one and share what's going on. Maybe you're something you're working on for a client, and then slowly start bringing out those details. It doesn't have to be like that same day, but like
Yeah.
on your journey with social media, slowly bring that out because I remember when I first started too, like I wasn't openly talking about me having an autoimmune disease. And then I also had a lot of reproductive stuff. I just had a hysterectomy back in September. That's not something that I normally would have openly spoken about. But then when you realize how many other people are dealing with the exact same things you might, I go like, why aren't we all talking about these same things? Because it
Yeah.
is that it's so relatable and you have that lens to help, that additional lens to help your clients out with whatever travel services that you have to offer.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. And that's one of the reasons that I love working with you too. It's like just to show this in action, like you are a more relatable person to me
Mhm.
because you struggle with autoimmune diseases. I did as well at one point when I had like long COVID. It was chaos and I was like,
Oh,
okay, somebody who like understands what it's like to go through something like this. Like
yeah.
that feels you feel like automatically somebody I want to work with. This is just the human experience,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like leaning into that hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'll never forget. I talk a lot about nerdy things too. So I'm actually currently rewatching the Witcher series. But I remember I talked about Marvel once, and one of the travel advisors that I work with, she's like, "Ha, I knew you were with somebody that I wanted to have in my world because you are a nerd just like I am." And I'm like, yes, that's what we want.
Like, be your full weird self.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, one of my friends is a personal finance coach, and she's like, okay, on Threads, I post every single day about personal finance in Canada and what to think about and what to like, how to manage your money and do all this stuff. She's a personal finance coach for women. She's like, I'm getting no traction. Then
Oh.
one day I post about busting out my Super Nintendo from back when I was like 13 and like playing Super Mario Brothers. And I like put that on Threads and that got more engagement. That got like it literally went viral. She's
Oh.
like, why are these the posts that are performing so well? But
Yeah.
it's because people can like relate to you in that your humanness. They don't just want to be given like, oh, like here, I'm doing this travel thing and I'm doing that. It's like talk to people about your daily life.
Yeah.
That's what they draws them in.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially in the world of social media, that's always changing. And I keep hearing this word of interest media and like sharing your interests, and then
Oh,
other people
cool.
will be drawn to you. Feel free to talk about a couple different things on top of the work that you do as well, because again, people are going to gravitate towards it. Because I'm noticing a lot more like it's not just like one thing. And I mean, as humans, we're not just one thing. There's so many different facets to us, whether that's like the titles we have, either person like aunt, uncle, parent, or even like scrapbooker. I'm trying to think of like all the different hobbies too. I'm a big puzzle person myself. So there's lots of different things that we can take with us that you can bond over other people, especially if you don't already have that network.
Yes, and actually this just came to me like life stage is another niche to bond over. So I
Yeah.
was just chatting with Laura Erickson, who runs Laura Erickson Tours, and she's done amazing for herself because she's like childless, divorcee at the age of 42, like doesn't want children. And she has created this community of women that follow her and that come on all of her group trips and that she sells out because
Mhm.
she has been so specific. It's not just trips for women, it's trips for women who are maybe single over 40 and childless.
Nice.
And we can all like bond over that life
I
stage.
love it.
So it's
That's
very cool. Yeah. So be niche AF. That's
love
my
that.
advice.
I was going to say, if you take anything from this conversation, I feel like one is that you have everything you need to be successful in this business, you have inside of you. You have the resources, you know where to go. And then two, fly your weirdo flag nice and proud and high.
Love it. Yes.
Well, Iris, thank you so much for being here. I do want to share a little bit about what your contribution in travel industry Black Friday is, because I think it's a really great one for women's work too.
hmm Yeah, this is the biggest discount we've ever given and will ever give on the
Mhm.
program. So instead of $4,000 for the 12-week program plus 12 months in the alumni community, it's only $3,000. So we're giving you $1,000 off, which we've
Awesome.
never done before. And this is a Rita exclusive special.
Yay!
So
Oh,
please apply, join us. We'd love to have you. Applications will close December 15th.
awesome. Perfect. Enough time for you to get your application in. And if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer what I know about women's work. And definitely Iris and her team are also going to be available if you have any questions about that. We also have a free resource of yours in the goodie bag. I can't remember what it is. I don't know if you remember what it is, but we can just send the travel advisors to go look at the goodie bag.
Yes, go look at it. It's our sustainable growth planner. So basically,
Nice.
how to build a business and not burn out,
Love it.
which I created out of my own experience of burning out twice in the first 2 years of my business. So it's like basically a what not to do guide. Um, but it'll help you just get realigned, focus on your energy. The main tenet of this is manage your energy, not your time as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur. That's one of the most important things that I've learned.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, energy is so huge because that was one of the things that I learned in the beginning where I kept my calendar open for everybody to do calls at any time of like my working hours. And I was like, oh, we're gonna shut that down real quick.
Specific call days only, people.
Yes.
Maybe twice a week if you're lucky.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has been a really fun conversation, and I'm glad we were able to have it during like this festive time of year. For people that aren't already connected with you, where's the best way to do that too?
You can email me, iris at byirisco.com. So BYIRISCO.com. Or you can go on our Instagram. It's at We Are Women's Work, wmnsWORK, and send me a private message there. Either way, really excited to connect with all of you. Don't hesitate to reach out, even to just say hi.
Perfect. Well, everybody, again, Black Friday is still happening. So head on over there, check out all the goodies, especially from women's work. Tomorrow's Small Business Saturday, so I hope you take some time for yourself as well to enjoy and like really lean in on the bad booty that you are as a travel business owner. And we'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.